All right, we're back. Welcome, everyone. Another test on this Thursday, March the 4th at 11:37 a.m. We're spending all of this time testing microphones instead of talking about things that we need to talk about. Very frustrating, but has to be done. We got to come up with a solution. So I started searching the internet. Yes, the internet. That's where we go to find what did we do before there was an internet? Do you remember? I don't know if I remember. If I didn't know how to do something, what did you do? I guess you called someone. Did you just sit there and try to figure it out? Now you just start searching. You start looking for YouTube videos, how to fix anything. It's funny. You talk to children today, like, if you don't know what to do, what do you do? If you don't know how to do something, what do? I look for YouTube videos. Like, okay, well, back in the olden days, we didn't have YouTube videos. We had to fix things on our own. Okay, well, the new times are better than the old times because I like to have the information there. According to the internet, there are a lot of people using Blue Yeti mics who've experienced a static problem. Now, some of their static problems sound very weird. They don't sound like my static problem, but there seems to be a common issue. And the issue seems to be with the volume setting inside the settings on your laptop. Now, here's what I know is happening. Now that we're back to in-person services, I take this laptop that I'm using and I take it back behind me to the sound booth and I hook it up there to that sound equipment to the wireless mic. And when it does, it's artificially changing the sound settings inside the laptop. So when I move it back here to this table, I'm going to have to go back and try to figure out where those sound settings should be. So I'm thinking right now we should not have a static problem. As far as we should not have. So I'm going to go listen to myself live really quick. Go listen to myself live.
Looking at
Here we
the
go.
world from a theological perspective. This is the Theology Central podcast, making theology central.
There's our wonderful intro. Here we go. Go listen to myself live. Okay. All right, correct. All right, so we're good to go. Now, remember, last time we were good to go. For Colton that's listening, is the volume okay? Do I need more volume? Do you think the volume is okay? Do you think... Because all the internet, all the YouTube videos were like, reduce the volume basically to 0 and then crank your gain. So I've cranked the gain. I just don't know if the... I don't know if it's enough volume. Let me see here. What do I sound like? The internet, all the YouTube videos were like, reduce the volume basically to 0 and then crank your... Okay, I'm going to crank. It's a little higher than I remember, but it's okay. All right, so is it higher good, higher bad? It can be the volume is higher and that's wonderful, or it's higher and not good. Not good. All right. So hopefully it's higher, better. Let me see here. I'm gonna turn the microphone around here. I'm going to reduce the gain just a little bit. I reduced the gain just a little bit. How does that sound? Does that sound good? Does that sound wonderful? Volume is higher. Okay. All right. Volume is higher. But is it? Let me go listen. I think it may sound. I don't know if it sounds better. How does that sound? Does that sound good? Does that sound wonderful? Volume is higher. Just don't scream too much. Volume is higher, but is it? Let me go listen. All right. So that's weird when you're listening to yourself and you're trying to talk. You're trying to do two things. Okay. So all right. I could possibly reduce the volume a little bit. Let me see here. I'm going to open up the settings. I could do this. Let's see, I could do it that way. I'm going to put that at 71. Right. So on my studio software, there's a micro. It's weird. You got 3 volume settings, or you really have 3 volume settings. It's really weird. Okay. Inside the laptop, when you open up your sound settings and you go to recording devices or you find your microphone, there's a volume level there. Right. Then obviously on the microphone itself, there's the gain. The gain will either increase the volume or lessen the volume. And then on the studio software, there's a volume there as well. So there's 3 volume controls. And when these volume controls, like if one is the wrong place, I think that's creating the static. At least that's the theory that people are promoting on YouTube. Now, they could be just people messing with you, making fake videos to mess with you. But it sounds like that these people were as frustrated as I was. So hopefully they're working. They're trying to help people and make the world a better place. So I reduced the volume a little bit on the studio software down to 71. I hope it's okay. Now on my phone. Now I'm on my phone, not a car radio, and you seem good on my phone. All right, okay. That's good. We're gonna do the little mute, play something, mute, play something, mute, play something, mute, play something. We're going to do that just to see, just to see what happens. So here we go.
And let's ask the Lord to bless our study. Lord, again, we thank you for your word. Pray that you would give me
live on the air. We're back live on the air. Now we're going to mute again.
Grace to teach accurately and clearly. Help give me special grace, especially we get into
back live on the air. We're back live on the air. We're back live on the air. I'm going to mute again. The air. We're back live on the air. We're back live on the air. I'm going to mute again. We're back live on the air. We're back live on the air. Test, 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 test. Live on the air. We're back live on the air. And let's see what's happening. Let's see what's happening. Maybe. Here we go. We're back live on the air. Test, 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 test. All right. I think we're good to go. We're back live on the air. And let's see what's happening. All right. I'm listening to myself on the iPad. There we go. I think I'm gonna move this back up I'm gonna go to 74. I just know that some people listen on mobile devices like phones, and I sometimes people say that I'm not loud enough. Some people say that I'm too loud. I would rather be, in a sense, too loud, and then people reduce the volume on their phone than not be loud enough. So it's always trying to find that perfect, like exactly where we should be. So I'm gonna open up the settings here on the laptop. I'm going to go to Open Sound Settings. We are at, there's the device properties. We're at 20, okay, on the device properties. So I think we're going to leave ourselves there at 20. Some of the video said to go all the way down to 10 on the computer settings, but I'm going to leave it 20. When I opened it up, and trying to figure out what was going on, we were at 59. So that was probably where the static started coming from. In fact, we could do, well, no, we won't do that. I could go in there and just crank it and see if the static comes back. Should I do that? I'm afraid to make it come back. If it comes back, then I don't want to make it come back. But if I know what causes it, that would be great. So should I do that? I'm going to go in there and see what happens. Maybe this is a bad idea. I'm just going to see. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is foolishness. If you don't have a problem, don't mess with anything. But now I'm going to mess with something because I want to recreate what caused it. All right, so we're at 20. I'm going to go to 60. I'm going to go to 62. I'm going to go to 62. I don't know if that's going to change anything at all. All right, then I'm going to hit mute. Test, 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 test. I don't think it's changing anything yet until until I close the software and open it back up, and that would send me off the air. So so I don't know if that even increased the volume. It may have increased the volume dramatically. Let's see here. Test, 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 test. I don't think it's changing anything yet until I close. Yeah, I don't. I'm just going to go back and reduce that back down to 20. So I don't want to tempt fate here. Okay, let's go back. Maybe that was the problem. You want to convince yourself that was the solution. Only time will tell. So I'm going to bring this back down to 20. I'm going to go back to 20. Close it. Back to 20. Back. Open. Test, test, test. Test. All right. I'm going to assume that was the problem. I could be 100% wrong. I could go back to the other microphone, but I'm just going to keep using this one for now. And that's what we'll do. All right. So 10-minute test, a waste of your time and my time. I apologize for everyone's time that I'm wasting, but if we don't, the last thing I want to do is do another hour program and then find out that the static came back. But there's a good probability it will. We're going to, what I may need to do, I may need to purchase just a computer for the sound booth and just use one computer for that setup and one computer for this setup, because clearly the going back and forth seems to be creating the problem. And I would hate to have to do that, but we may have to work. We may have to work in that direction. That may be the only solution, is just leave the one computer here all the time in the sound booth, and the other one I always take back home. So maybe that's something we'll have to do. We'll have to look at that. So, all right, I think maybe we figured out what was going on. It was the internal volume setting, and I'm going to hook up the other microphone in a second and check what that setting was and see if it changes it, and if it does. Now I know I'll see if the different microphone does. But as far as I can tell, the static is gone, so that means I'll be back on the air shortly with a program. I'm going to try to come up with at least one more program. But if we fix the sound problem, then my time here today has been valuable. I do apologize to anyone who Colton told me that half of the program, the static is there, half of it. That is so frustrating. But I don't want to delete that. Oh, I don't want to delete that. That's so discouraging. But all right, here we go. So thanks, and I'm gonna bring the other one back in here in a minute and make sure that and see if it changes the volume level, because if something is happening there, that I need to know that as well. So all right, I'll try to be back on the air with actually something of value here shortly. God bless.